Hello everybody. Thanks for coming around. Appreciate it. Let's gather around here around the table and entertain ourselves with seeing what the cards have to say about various people in various positions of power and side folks. Appreciate you being here. I'm sorry for this big gap that was betwixt this video and my previous video. I've spared my time. I've been trying to make this video ever since Tuesday, and it's like the internet gods have been mad at me or something, so I had to make the propitiatory offering of select brass screws and dark blue silicone gel and anything else I could think of to try to soothe them back down again. So hopefully I can get this video made. Oh, I wanted to share with y'all some good news. I was able to get my account verified, whatever verb they use there, to where now I'm no longer limited to 15 minutes per video. I can make the videos whatever length I want. And so that's cool. That's cool. That means I don't have to be worrying and fretting and staring at the clock every 3 seconds to make sure I'm not running over. So, by the way, I'm B. Joe Taz. Appreciate y'all coming around. I am a lifelong student of occultic subjects. I'm a solitary witch living in the buckle of the Bible Belt. The Baptists are in charge around here, what can I say? And so anyway, and I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel forever, but I had to get the technology together to do it. So now we're squeaking by and seeing what we can do. So Tuesday I was trying to make a recording of I was wanting to ask some things about Melania, but then while I was trying to record, the computer kept shutting off my recording like 3-4 minutes into it. So I got so frustrated I started crying. So I said, okay, I'm going to stop for Tuesday. Life is too short. And then Wednesday and Thursday we had ourselves a line of thunderstorms coming through, and so the internet was up and down just like a pogo stick. So I said, okay. So as I needed some more time to try to get the tender feelings of my heart back into control, because I was so disappointed that I couldn't do the video, which sounds petty, I know, especially since then we've had this horrific situation in Minneapolis. I hesitate to say anything because as a white person, you know, I really don't have any skin in the game. Excuse the bad pun. I'm blunt spoken. I say what I think. I cuss some too. So if that's going to bother you, you may as well hop back on your horse and head on down to the next watering hole. But anyway, the situation just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. And I just want to say his name. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. And do not forget. And unfortunately, he's just the latest of countless numbers of people. Just the latest tragedy in a long line of tragedies. And I feel helpless in the face of this. I just do. There's not a darn thing I can do to help. I live in a very white area of the country, and there's just no getting around it parts of the country are like self-segregated, and there's nothing I can do about that either. But I didn't always live here. I used to live in a more diverse place, and I've always taken great joy in having a diverse circle of friends. And to all of my friends out there who may stumble across this video, I give you my love. I miss y'all. And so I'm feeling almost kind of a little bit aimless here. You know, it seems kind of stupid to be asking questions about Melania with all this going on. And my first video was on Kim Jong-un, and I heard tell on Memorial Day that another video has come out about him. And I don't really know just when that came out. I didn't know about it at the time when I was making my first video, and I still haven't seen this other video that's come out, so I don't know anything about it. And, you know, the cards were indicating that if he made the right decisions, he'd be okay. But that also makes the converse true. If you don't make the right decisions, he ain't going to be okay. And I'm convinced, I don't know, I just have a feeling that he's not on the scene, but I'll read about that another time. I don't want to read about him today. I want to cast my gaze in a slightly different direction. The direction of Orange Julius. Orange Julius. Someone who is orange and cold, and happens to be housed in a white location container, the White House. And so, Orange Julius, he's orange, he's dictatorial, he freaking wants to shut down social media like that's going to get him reelected. I'm so sure. The man is such an idiot. The man is a sleeping idiot. Oh, and by the way, you may not have had a chance to gather yet. I'll be up front. I don't like Republican politicians. They're slimy, lousy, no good pieces of horse hockey. And the thing is, if he is participating in the November election, I expect he's probably going to get around at least 44% of the vote. I'd say 44 to 46% of the vote. What, you say? How can that be? He's such an idiot. You're right, he's an idiot. But I swear to my time, the people who are for him, they're for him all the way, and they're not even thinking about it. They're just going by emotion. No rationality. Remember, I mentioned I live in the buckle of Bible Belt country, which means I'm a lonely little patch of blue in a deep ruby red state. Holy freaking cow. In fact, just about a week and a half ago, I was having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about things, mainly about the virus going around. And then she goes, oh, and our poor president, if people wouldn't just be giving him such a hard time, he can't hardly do anything with them, always give him a hard time. I just feel so sorry for that poor man. And she was serious. She was serious when she said this. She was not being sarcastic at all. Scotty, now would be a good time. Oh, people just drive me crazy. Holy freaking cow, how can they do this? So, is Orange Julius in his right mind? Some people like to pretend he's playing 9-dimensional chess while the rest of us are stumbling around with tic-tac-toe and twiddlywinks. But, no, It's like the reverse of a conspiracy theory. The man is not that calculating. He is not that clever. He just ain't. It isn't there. He's, for one thing, he's the son of a rich man. And let me tell you, the children who get raised up in the lap of luxury get raised up dumb because they grow up in this bubble. And so their development is stunted, and they always think of, oh, I can just carry anything, I'll just throw some of daddy's money at it. Yeah. And he's a heartless son of a gun, Orange Julius is. I mean, considering the fact that his grandfather was a pimp. Traded in human flesh. I mean, how low can you go? Just how low can you go? So, Orange Julius, what's his state of mind right now? What's his state of mind? I mean, did you see how he flipped off just because Twitter put a fact check on a couple of his tweets? Oh! Good Lord. I just heard that. Do you know who he reminds me of? The Princess and the Pea. Those little fat chicks are little peas underneath 98 mattresses that he's a laying on. What a spoiled brat. So, let me do I'm going to start off with a 3-card draw here, just to kind of get me limbered up. And besides, I don't have very much spreading around tabletop room here to mess around with. And so, got to do the best I can. Okay, let's see. Let's draw some runestones. See what kind of extra nuances and dimensions and angles they can add to things for us. What in his right mound? It's Orange Julius in his right mound. Let's find out. I'll draw. You just saw me put a stone back. That's right. This is a store-bought set of runestones. I've got my own set over there for my private stuff. And the store-bought set includes the blank rune. Actually, as a replacement for in case you lose or break one of your runes. But some people out there like to treat the blank rune like an honest-to-God separate rune of its own. And I haven't been persuaded on that yet, so whenever I pull out the blank rune, I put it back in, draw another rune. No, I might change my mind on that someday, but I haven't today, and that's the way I'll go. And life is too short to be fretting over small things like that. So, okay. What kind of Trump in his right mind? Well, let's see what we have here. Our first card is the Knight of Swords. The swords have to do with mental stuff, hooked into the element of air. So thought, thinking. And the Knight of Swords would be like a journeyman. The page would be like an apprentice. The knight's a journeyman working towards whatever you're apprenticing in. So he's I don't know. I'm not sure how to plug the Knight of Swords into Orange Julius's way of thinking, because I always took the royals of the swords to be reasonably competent beings. And this is paired up with Wunyo. Wunyo stands for joy. So he has ideas that he takes joy in. He thinks he's the top of the heap of having good ideas. But in the middle of the picture, we have Queen of Cups. There's a woman that is stymieing his plans. She's standing in the way. And she's paired up with Rhino. Rhino stands for motion, change, transportation. So, with this woman being paired up with transportation, I'm wondering if this is maybe referring to Elaine Chao, Secretary of Transportation, wife of Mitch McConnell, daughter of a very rich Chinese businessman. So we got the Chinese angle happening here. And don't forget, Ivanka's got all those copyrights free and clear just dumped into her lap. And it's my understanding that normally those are extremely difficult to get, and it takes years and years and years and years of saying pretty please to even be considered. So, and she gets, 17 of them dumped in her lap? So, Elaine Chao, it could be that her contacts in China are not happy with how things are going, because after all, they're businessmen. They want to be making money. And right now, we have all kinds of trade hiccups going on, and his Trump's embargoes and his tariffs, which we over here really end up paying them to get the goods into the country. But it does slow up the process of getting goods into the country, and so the businessmen are not going to like that. So as a result, we have the Four of Pentacles paired up with Seihu. Now this is really interesting. The Four of Pentacles, static, cold, frozen. The money ain't going nowhere. It's frozen up, it's tied up. What money? Seihu. Seihu stands for wealth. Anything that's worthy of being considered wealth, here we go, Seihu. So, we have a lot of wealth tied up, stuck. It's not going anywhere, and none of the rich fat cats are making money off of this. And they don't like it. They're pissed off. And so as a result, since I was asking this in context of Trump's, Orange Julius's mental state, I'm thinking that it's always been, a wheeler dealer. Let's make the deal, let's make the bucks, and always robbing Peter to pay Paul. And right now, things have gotten stuck. He's not being able to rob Peter, and Paul's going, hey, I want my money, and he can't get it because it's stuck over here, and so people over here are getting unhappy about the matter. So the part that is a big part of the picture is the China angle, that since the money's getting stuck and not flowing, I would not be surprised if this also ends up involving one of Orange Julius's best friends, who lives in the Great White North, who's fond of horseback riding, bare-chested, and judo matches, and who can play the piano. Yes, I'm talking about Putin. And so, different parties, it's like things are stacking up because they're not flowing. They had this flow of money happening, and everybody was getting rich off of it, but now it's gotten stuck, and it's like, and it's, their whole scheme is kind of locking up now, and nobody's happy. Nobody's happy about it. And so consequently, this is weighing on Trump's mind. He might even accidentally start beginning to worry a little bit about things, because some of these parties have been known, some folks in these high-powered circles have been known to not react well when their money ain't flowing. And so Trump might be realizing that he might be getting into a world of hurt. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So, at any rate, I'll be honest with you today. I'm finding it a hard time focusing. I'm just worrying about that. First, that poor guy in Georgia, Ahmed Arbery, who got shot down in the streets by a couple of yahoos think they can do a citizen's arrest and kill folks in the process. I swear, people like that give the rest of us law-abiding gun owners a bad name. Kind of pisses me off. Plus, we see so many white folks out there being bigoted as all get out in broad daylight. And it gives the rest of us Southerners a bad name. I'll grant you, bigotry and racial prejudice is rife in the South. But not all of us are like that. Please believe me, not all of us is like that. It should be easy enough for me to say because I'm just talking into a camera, but I promise you that's where my heart is at. I promise you. And so, and I'm hoping that by doing these videos with my cards and pendulums and runestones and such, maybe I can make a difference in someone's life somewhere. I hope so. It'd be nice. And if nothing else, I feel like I need to do this. The Creatrix was kind enough to grace me with some talents, certain talents. And YouTube videos are the best outlet I have for using them in constructive and positive ways. I feel like that using my talents in this way is a way of me showing appreciation to the powers that be for the gifts that they allowed me to bring with me into this life cycle. So, at any rate, one thing I am curious about is when Orange Julius leaves the White House. Okay, right now his state of residence is Florida because he's trying to stay out of the clutches of the New York state attorney or whoever it is that's digging into his fraudulent business practices. So he's going to go hightailing it off to Mar-a-Lago when he moves out. Excuse me, I'm sorry, my nose is itching. The pollen is something fierce today. Oh, sorry about that. So when Orange Julius moves out of the White House and goes to, I'm assuming, probably to Mar-a-Lago, is Melania going to Mar-a-Lago? Or is she going to hightail it back to New York where the scene is at? Because that's, where her parents are at, where her friends are at, the school that she had Barron in. Of course, by the time they get back there, he'd be in high school now instead of junior high, I suppose, so it'd be a different school, but it'd be back to the same school system that she's accustomed to. So, Melania. Is she going to stay together with Trump after they move out of the White House? Oops. My finger caught my scarf here and scooted it off the tabletop that I'm using. So, I'm going to draw 3 cards on this. I would love to draw more cards on these things, but I don't have very much room here, so I'm making do the best I can. things will improve as things go along. And I appreciate y'all's patience on this. I'm new at this business of making videos, so bear with me. Melania, you're gonna stay with Orange Julius, or is she gonna split the scene and head back to New York? Her tell she really didn't want to be First Lady. She was like, no, no, he won, no. So let's see what we come up with here for dear Melania. Oh, we have some interesting combinations down here. Yeah, there I go again. Ooh, isn't that interesting? You're going, what you looking at, Bijo Taz? So give me a moment here. Well, well, and well. All right. Now, this is interesting. Our first card is the Queen of Swords. So in this case, this is Melania. She is a strong woman. She stays quiet. I think might partly be from the culture she grew up in, Eastern European culture. You know, it's this business of the man's the head, the family, but the woman's the neck, and she can point the head in any direction she wants. So she knows the tricks of doing that. So Melania, Queen of Swords, Queen of thoughts and ideas. She's thinking about it. She's definitely thinking about it. Not necessarily showing it to anybody, but she's giving it some hard and heavy thought. And this is paired up with Laguz. Laguz stands for water, the dark depths, mystery, things that are hidden. So yeah, she's thinking about it, and she really doesn't want to go to live in Florida when this is all over with, but she's keeping it to herself right now, and kind of waiting to see how things are going to develop. She's kind of in a holding pattern right now. Oh my. We have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, the generation, meaning, okay, I'm not expressing myself well. The generating of a major plan or scheme. The activation of what one wants to have happen. The beginning of things. Paired up with Othala. Othala stands for the homestead, the home hearth. Your home central place of safety. So she is considering most heavily where she can set up safely and be safe and settled and not have to worry about incursions of what she would perceive to be the enemy. And the final outcome for her is the star of hope. All of her hopes and dreams coming true, paired up with Sowilo. Sowilo stands for the sun. Very similar to the sun in the tarot deck. Light, brightness, growth, positive energy. So she's going to land on her feet. However it works out, it's going to be the way she wants it to be. She's going to land on her feet, and things are going to be good for her. And who knows, she might decide to divorce him and be set up pretty with a lot of money, enough to be able to live on comfortably for the rest of her life. I don't know, but however it works out, it's going to be the way she planned it and the way she thought about it, and it's going to work out real well for her. Melania's going to land on her feet. So we don't need to be wasting any tears over her. She'll be okay. Now, I grant you the situation she in, not the happiest in the world, I wouldn't think. But she went into that situation with her eyes wide open. She's nobody's dummy. And I think it's real ironic that she's doing this Be Best campaign and don't be doing online bullying, and she's so focused on this that she doesn't notice certain people indulging in a lot of online bullying. Or it could be that maybe she is noticing and she's just not saying anything about it because that's part of her keeping mum while she makes her plans. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Meanwhile, I would love to continue with this video, but I'm on ultra rural internet, which means uploading is slow and it takes forever. So I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for this video. And I'll shut it down for now. And meanwhile, I appreciate y'all coming around. If y'all came around the last time, thanks for coming back. And I hope y'all come back again sometime. I really would enjoy that if you were to do that. Meanwhile, do me a favor as you go, okay? Stay safe. Be well. Peace.